Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to my Premier League predictions for the season 24-25. Now, my predictions aren't very good, but my flop transfer of the season for the last 2 years has been unequalled, I'm going to say, in the world. So, without further ado, let's look at the top or the bottom 5 teams. Now, I want to preface this just in case anybody's clicked on this thinking that I've got football knowledge. Don't worry about it. So, Leicester, bottom, because they weren't here last season and they might have minus points and they lost their manager. I feel like I've smashed that one. Southampton, 19th. They weren't here last season. They only just got promoted and they don't score goals. So, good. Smashed it. Fulham, I think they've been overperforming the last few years. However, Paulinia's gone, who I think is 80% of their team. In all honesty, I can't believe more teams didn't go in for him. He's an exceptional player. But I think Fulham are really going to struggle this season. And also didn't just want to put the newly promoted teams at the bottom 3. That's boring. That's why I've got Ipswich 15th. Okay, 17th, not Forest. Now, one of that 17th prediction might have something to do with one of those categories there. That's all I can say. All right. I wonder what it is. It's not going to be top goal scorer. Spoiler alert. 16th, Brentford. Now, when I first made this list, I did have Brentford 18th. I think they are going to be down there in a fight. I don't know if Ivan Toney's leaving. It looks like they're desperately trying to get rid of him, and is it a year left and all that sort of stuff. Brentford are a team that have been punching above their weight for a number of years, and I just think it might start wobbling a bit this season. And I think if another mid-table team has a bad start, loses their manager, Thomas Frank, he'd be a good pickup. So I think that could be a problem. Ipswich, don't know much about them, apart from they've got back-to-back promotions, which is ridiculous, and they play exciting football. So I'm going to, much like I did with Burnley last season, which went well, I'm going to predict that they're going to overperform and they're going to finish 15th. Now, for the next 5 of mid-table mediocrity, we've got Wolves. I don't know about Wolves. They've just got different Portuguese-sounding names every season, and they seem to go through. I like the manager. He was wasn't he briefly a coach at Liverpool, but he worked for Bournemouth, and, so I've got lots of links to him, and I like him. So, 14th. I don't know about Crystal Palace. They were scary good at the end of last season. However, I refuse to believe that Jean-Philippe Mateta is, I know no one does it better than Jean-Philippe Mateta, but I don't think he's that good. I think he just had a little spell, let's say. I think Crystal Palace could, and obviously they've lost the main man, I think, and they might lose Eze as well. I don't know about Crystal Palace. I'm putting them in a safe mid-table-y. Bournemouth, similar level. I think they're going to struggle for goals. They've lost Big Dom Solanke. Liverpool got a sell-on fee there, so I think we made about 7 million quid, lovely. And I think he'll do fine at Spurs. I don't think he'll set the world alight, but I think he'll hurt Bournemouth more. I don't know if they've replaced the goals yet. Brighton, don't know about them. Going to be honest, Pascal Gross has left, which sucks because I really liked him. But I'm sure they've signed 3 players I've never heard of and that will turn out to be absolute wonder kids and they'll be fine. So that's kind of what Brighton do. In 10th, I've got Everton. I think they've got a good team. If Dominic Calvert-Lewin remembers where the goal is, which I know is a big ask, I like Sean Dyche as a manager. I think he's fine. We all know how he's going to play. But I think he knows how to build a team, more importantly. That's how he was able to keep Burnley in the Premier League for so long. It wasn't quality of players or superior tactics. He just knew how to get a team together. So I think they can improve. Their underlying numbers for last year were really good, and I think they've got a good squad. They've kept hold of a couple of important players. Go Everton. Woo! I never thought I'd say that. Woo! So the big 10 till 6. Tricky one, this. Getting really tricky. I think, is this the most... Because when I was trying to do it, I think most of us, spoiler alerts, most of us are going to have Arsenal, Man City top. Liverpool, I think you can make an argument for, but new manager, you never know. So I think most people are going to have Arsenal, Man City top, and then probably like maybe a Liverpool third on their own, or maybe a Liverpool Spurs. But like, you can make an argument for Aston Villa. You can make an argument for Newcastle. They've got an amazing striker. I don't know what Chelsea is. Fuck knows. West Ham have had an amazing window. Man United, I don't know much about Xerxes, but they needed a striker to go with Højlund. But Lenny Yoro, absolute steal. I was so annoyed. Not steal, they paid a lot of money for him, but like so annoyed that Man United got in on him then. I know he's injured to the start of the season, but it could be very good. So West Ham have been doing absolute business. Jarrod Bowen, the man, the myth, the legend, is going to bang a load more goals in. They've got strikers options now. They signed the dude from Dortmund. I think they're going to be pretty solid. I just don't know. What's his name? Lopetegui. Not the most outgoing of managers, let's say. And I remember West Ham having a slight problem with David Moyes' lack of goingness. So that'll be interesting if they don't start well. Now, Chelsea. Can I just have a little mini rant, if you'll excuse me, not about Chelsea as such, but any sort, okay, rant mode activated, any sort of laws, rules to keep the game somewhat fair. It's not fair, obviously, but keep football somewhat fair and say, hey, look, you can't spend too much money. Any set of rules, and you can argue how well or bad they are made, right? But this is separate. Any set of rules that means it is the correct thing to do for your club, whoever you are, when you sell a player, to sell your own homegrown youth talent because they're 100% profit as opposed to selling other players, is a bad set of rules. Anything that encourages you, one of the single best things about football, and I know you'll all agree, is when you've got a young player from your local area of the team and they come through the ranks and they're like, great. Having a Scouser in the Liverpool team it's massive. When you get one of our players that comes through, breaks through at 16, 17, massive. And we've just killed it. Chelsea are fucking locking Conor Gallagher out of the stadium so he can't get in to play football. They're that desperate to get rid of it so they can hit their... Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Anyway, I don't know about their manager. I know he once sniffed... I think he got the job because he once sniffed Pep Guardiola. He maybe, touched his bum. I don't know, but he's had contact with Pep, therefore must be great. I don't think Leicester fans were massively enamoured by him, despite the promotion. So Chelsea, and I'm hopeful. No offence to Chelsea fans, but I mean this aimed at your ownership group and the whole way that club is run. I hope you crash and burn and roll a bit and burn a bit more, and it all falls apart because it is absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of crashing and burning and falling apart, Man United, Xerxes, good. From what I've seen, good. Lenny Yoro could be a world-class centre-back. Brilliant. Still need a left-back whose legs don't fall off. It looks like they're signing the right-back. Is it Mazraoui? And Delete. So that definite upgrades, but like upgrades on people that are like already left. Varane or... I don't know, man. I just don't... They're sort of halfway there, maybe, to... I don't think they're going to be that good. I still don't know how Ten Hag wants to play football. I watch their games, and it seems like a different thing every time, and it's just a bit headless chicken. So I think they will struggle. I don't think Ten Hag's going to get sacked. I think he'll get to the end of the season, and they'll go, yeah, cheers, mate. We're going to get someone else in now. But genuinely... I hope Man United obviously get relegated because I'm a Liverpool fan. But I hope Rashford has a good season. That bloke gets a lot of shit. And I know he was kind of crap last season. But I hope, for his sake, I hope he has a good season. And then I've got Newcastle in 6. They had some horrendous injuries last season. But I think with Isaac up front, if they haven't signed a right winger yet to get rid of Miggy Almiron or Sheldon. But they do need to do that. but they've made some good signings. They've kept all the pieces. Anthony Gordon's brilliant. So I think they're going to be pretty decent, but I don't think they're going to sort of trouble top 4. I think they'll be like 8-10 points off. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think Man City are going to win. I wanted to predict Arsenal. Well, I wanted to predict Liverpool. But realistically, I kind of wanted to predict Arsenal. And I've seen a few YouTube prediction videos and that are predicting Arsenal. But if you asked anyone and said, look, you have to put £1,000 of your own money on who do you think is going to win they're all going to say Man City. People, we're just saying Arsenal because we're trying to sort of project. We're manifesting being somebody other than Man City winning the league. But in all honesty, Man City are the best team in the league and they're probably going to win it again. Arsenal have strengthened and they'll do well. Maybe have a good cup run, maybe win a cup or do well they could do really well in the Champions League. I think they're a very good side. I still think they miss a striker, but all the other parts are there. Liverpool. Let's have a chat now about Liverpool. Let's have a chat about signings. Now, let's have a chat about the new Let's have a chat about the new manager, Arne Slot. Looks like good. Pre-season was good. I like the way we play. It's still a high press. It's similar-ish shape. But we're back to old school Klopp where the wing-backs are going to be bombing on. So Trent and Robbo and just going to be absolute, which is great. Love that. However, it's less heavy metal and more... Shit, don't know music. Drum and bass. I'm so old. I've never sounded so old in my time. Drum and bass, EDM. It's basically high press, get the ball back, win it high, but then not instantly punch somebody's face in. It's give them lots of like Chinese burns, slap them about a bit, right? It's get the ball and then control. And one of my most excited things about this season that I'm looking forward to is this will suit Harvey Elliott to a T. Absolutely to a T. Because he's not the quickest, he's not the strongest. Technically, he's very good and he's a very good passer. So I think he can get involved. Obviously, they're probably going to play with the number 10, so that'll be Slobs. But Harvey Elliott's going to get plenty of game time. So I think they'll have a solid season. I would be happy with top 4. In all honesty, like new manager, I think you just go, okay, just everything stay calm. Don't get worse, yeah? For the first season? Cool. Then we might actually make some signings. As for Villa, good manager, really good manager. Some good players. Done well in the transfer market. I was trying to do that thing of, well, now they've got big European games. Are they going to slip down a little bit? And honestly, I don't think they will. However, one of their players is about to land up here. So let's get into it. Oh, wow. And much like every trophy across the footballing globe, we've forgotten about Spurs. Spurs improved. I like their team. Dom Solanke is a definite improvement on Richarlison. I don't know. He's like the striker you get, which I guess what I say, the striker you get to try and push yourself into top 4. He's not the striker you get to win the league or win the Champions League. But Spurs being where they are, getting into top 4 regularly would be a very good thing. How competitive this league is getting is ridiculous. The fact that we can talk about Man United who have improved, I'm realistically putting them in 7th. They might finish 3rd, like I said. But Chelsea have got 700 players. I'm putting them 8th. West Ham have had one of the transfer windows of their forever, and I'm putting them 9th. It's just incredibly competitive. So I think Dom Solanke is a really good pickup. So I think they'll do well. They'll kind of have that season again where sometimes they look great and sometimes it just doesn't work out and they lose 4-0, but they don't change how they're playing, so they'll lose 4-0. You know, I don't mind a plan B occasionally. But anyway, let's get on to the important one, and we all know the flop transfer is the important one. So, first manager sacked. I think this is probably the favourite, easiest guess. I have never seen him be good at football management anywhere. So therefore, and Nottingham Forest aren't that good, and they're going to have another season of struggle, and I don't think he's very good, so I think he'll be first to go. Now, last year this was called the top goal scorer that's not Haaland, and it pretty much is that award this year. I just didn't want to give it to Haaland. But then I was thinking, I know Darwin Núñez is very hopeful. I understand that. I've seen one or two people mention he's not the best finisher. I get that. But it might. Luck might happen, and he scores 25. No, but in all honesty, I was trying to think, okay, Haaland away. And there's not that many currently in the Premier League, that many obvious out-and-out just, I'm going to score 30 a season. Like, Dominic Solanke would have to have the season of his life. I don't think any Arsenal players are going to get close to that. Maybe Mo Salah, but we don't know if he's dropped down. He has shaved the hair, so he should go a little quicker this season. But I don't know who's going to do it from there. Chelsea, who knows who's playing? There just isn't that many obvious, other than Haaland, obvious striker option. Kai Havertz, I don't see getting that sort of goal tally. Ollie Watkins. But even then, Ollie Watkins is one of my... I was desperate for him to play at the Euros. Ollie Watkins is one of my favourite strikers, and I'll take him in Liverpool in a heartbeat. But he leads the line, but he's also he gets tons of assists. He drops deep and can play as a bit more physical Bobby Firmino role, which I love, but that doesn't help top goal scorer. So I'm going to go Darwin Núñez, that's not Haaland. Signing of the season, I'm going for a bit of a punt here. I'm going for Archie Gray. I really wish Liverpool had signed him. I think he's one of the best youngsters in the country, and I hope that he has just like a really breakout season. My flop transfer, I didn't see any real obvious big value flop transfers. Normally I just look at Man United and they've usually got one, but this season I genuinely think they made good transfers, which is annoying. I've gone for Ross Barkley. Now, if you don't know, he went to Villa for about £5 million. It's not an expensive transfer. Like, I can see why Villa did it. Ross Barkley was great at Luton last season, right? Great at Luton. So there's two very different things there. You could separate them out. He was like, the teacher playing a five-a-side game at primary school, right? It was like, oh my God, this guy's really good. Just give him the ball. He has no defensive output whatsoever. Is good going forward. Works really well in a team that's just like, please help us, Ross. Here's the ball. Can you do something with it? Whereas a proper good team, I just don't see... I think his lack of all the other aspects of his game is just going to fall. And I think he's just going to be a non-signing. I think he's going to come in, barely get any football, and then be loaned out at the end of the season or loaned out in January and stuff. I kind of wish Ross Barkley, for his sake, had gone to a Leicester, a Southampton, a team where he could just like become the main man and stay the main man. I think he's gone to a too big a team, and I don't think his talent's quite there, and he's just not going to get any football, and we're going to forget he ever existed again, just like we did previous until he turned up at Luton and played well. He's just going to disappear into the abyss. There you go, my friends. Man City are going to win the league. In shock news, Haaland's going to be top goal scorer, and Man City are going to win the league. I know, it's crazy. But let me know, genuinely, always this time of year, I want your thoughts in the comments below. Give me your league table and the awards of the season. And then at the end of the season, we can go back at, like we always do, and just have a little laugh at how stupid people are, including me. But yeah, Tonali, though, flop of the season last year. Tonali, okay, I didn't think he was going to get done for betting scandal, but I just felt like he was going to be a flop. And being banned counts as a flop. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe or something, because there's one of these every year. Other than that, we do Football Manager and shit. See you next time. Bye-bye.